This past weekend, I volunteered for the Toronto Triathlon Festival. And in Toronto, well, it was a rainy, miserable day. And I'm not gonna lie, when my alarm first went off at 5:45 in the morning, I was very tempted to press snooze. However, I didn't because I had committed, and so I showed up, and I'm so glad I did. And yet, my commitment was nothing like those the athletes had to make. To show up in the pouring rain, to struggle while huddling under our tent, to get on their wetsuits on their already soaking bodies, then to jump into the cold water and swim. After getting out of the water, then jumping on their bike, struggling through the puddles and the slippery streets, and no doubt trying to put off all the splashes from the oncoming cars on the other side. And then after the bike ride, somehow getting off of that wet seat and then putting their soaking socks into their running shoes for the final leg, the run. Now, triathlons can be grueling even when it's dry, let alone wet. And yet, seeing the look on those athletes' faces when they crossed the finish line was priceless, and no doubt they felt like it was worth it. And see, that was only their moment of glory. We have no idea the dedication and commitment and the training that it takes behind the scenes that got them to that point. It reminds me of something that Tony Robbins shared, which was, we're rewarded in public for what we practice in private. Now, I have a confession to make. I joined the Toronto Triathlon Club at the beginning of the season, and yet I have not actually registered to complete my first race. And for those of you who have been following me know that I've been writing my book now for an embarrassingly long time, and yet have not actually committed to completing it by a certain date. And well, when you don't commit, it is not real. Now, commitment is scary, I get it. But I decided it all changes today. And so I registered for my first triathlon of the season in a few weeks, and I committed to completing the first draft of my manuscript by August 31st. Am I scared? You betcha. But again, I know that if I'm not prepared to put this off any longer, that I have to commit, and only in committing will it become real. So now I invite you to look at some area or something in your life that you've maybe been thinking about, talking about, but haven't actually committed to making happen. Imagine what your life would look like if you never did this thing. Where would you be? What would you be doing? And how would you be feeling? Get honest with yourself. Do you have it? Okay, good. Now I want you to imagine what your life would be when you have this thing, you commit to doing it, and you actually get it done. What would your life look then? What would you be doing, and how would you be feeling? I'm pretty sure a whole lot different. Yes, it is scary to commit, but when you do, it becomes real. And so I invite you to commit to something today that you've been putting off for far too long. Share in the comments below so that we can help hold you accountable. And speaking of sharing, I invite you to share this video with someone in your life that you think could benefit. Sharing is caring after all. I know that you're ready to make something happen, start something new, or achieve something big. And if you are, you have to be prepared to commit and then do the work that's required behind the scenes to make it happen. But don't worry, you won't be alone. I am going to be cheering you on along the way. Until next time, I'm Schulte, and I invite you to bring the biggest you to all you do.